We're going to be making a vase with some tulips in it for the springtime and have it look like the petals are overlapping. So our main focus is to create depth with it. The first thing we're going to do for our vase is let's make a smiley face in the middle of your paper. Two little lines down on each side, and then a smiley face to connect the bottom. Now that's the top lip of our vase. The rest of your vase, it can be straight, it can be fancy where it curves a little bit. It is all up to you. I'm gonna have my vase curve in a little bit and then come out. So what I do on one side, I have to do on the other. Like I said, you can make your vase look however you want. Then we do a smiley face, so that way it looks more 3D. Then we're going to put a bottom on it. Okay. Mine's not perfect on both sides, but it's fine. The table that it sits on, we move it up a little bit. Align, jump, line. Then we're going to start with our actual flowers, then add our stems. So if I have a vase full of tulips, the way that I'm going to draw my tulips, so first start with the letter U for my first petal. I come up and I'm going to curve down so it almost looks like a teardrop or an egg. My next petal kind of comes out to the side, curves, and then touches the first one. Same thing on this side. And if you want, you can add some petals behind it. They're just like curved letter A's. My next one, maybe I'm looking at it at a different angle. So my next petal, I'm going to start with a curved line across. And then I come down and around. I can do the same thing on this side. I can add some petals in the background. So those are the two main ones. If you want one that's just a bud and it's not quite ready yet, we're going to do the egg shape once again. But then we're just going to have the petals stay nice and close to it. So it hasn't bloomed or opened up just yet. I would add a couple more because I have all this space up here. And I'm going to add another one like that first one. It's kind of that egg shape. And I'm angling mine, so they're all a little different. And then maybe I have one going off to the side here. Whoop. Let's let that focus. Actually, I'll have my leaves go out that way. I think I could put one more in the middle. And this one's going to be behind that larger one. So adjust and add them wherever you feel comfortable. All right, and actually I am going to put a rose bud over here. So that egg shape, and then keeping the petals nice and close. Now for the stems, we want to start with the stems that are close to us. So I have them out and then coming right into the vase. I'm going to draw them lightly. That way, if I do have to erase any, I can. And then I did say this was in front of that other little one. So I'm going to have it come down and it needs to be on top of it because it's closer to us. So I go in and erase because it's not see-through. Then this one kind of comes down, and I'm not going to see all of it because it is behind that first one. Now we add the leaves for it. For the leaves, I like to have these nice, thick, bold leaves on tulips. Maybe I have one come up here. I can have one draping over the side. So how I do that is I come up and over and make like a letter V, and then just erase whatever would be behind it. You can have texture lines in your petals. It's all up to you. If this leaf is behind that flower, I'm not going to see all of it. We want it to look like we have a nice big full bouquet of flowers. Have a little one come up over the vase. It is all up to you. Now, if you have room, you might see the back of the vase over here. So I'm just going to add where my vase would come around, jump over my petals anywhere, and then attach. Now you have a vase full of tulips. It is up to you what you want to use to color this. If you want to use watercolor, like I started to on my first one, you can. If not, maybe you'd rather use colored pencils, which I'm going to use for this one, colored pencils or crayons. When you go to color this, I will say mixing colors tend to look really nice. So if I start with this kind of green, maybe I want to mix a darker green with it, or press harder with my colored pencil. Since this one is behind this little bud, I'm going to get a darker green. Oh, this one's a little lighter, but I like that color together. Press harder where there'd be a shadow. And see how mixing colors can completely change your picture? See, I thought this was going to be a darker one, so maybe test it out on the back of your paper first. Then also, for your tulips, depending on what color you want to make them, I color it all in that color. Then I'm going to go back in and press harder with this where there'd be a shadow or the veins in the flowers. To show that this petal is on top of those ones. I made it a little bit darker around it. And then to show that these petals are behind, I'm going to press darker. So working on overlapping your colors, or overlapping and adding shadow to create a nice piece. On your vase, you also want to add shadows. So decide which side is going to have the light coming from it and which side is not. So I want you to continue coloring yours. When you're finished, you'll upload it either to Seesaw or to Art Sonia if you use that.